his tune. Now he's talking about happiness, and he's saying if you make $47,000 a year and you're happy, good for you. You know, like he has changed his tune a little bit, which I appreciate. But, you know.
That has been a thing that I've been hearing a lot more lately, too. Like building the life that you want, you're going to be happy with, and that not because of anybody else's opinions or thought
But again, that goes back to limiting beliefs, right? Because we think, well, I'll be happy when I make $150 a year or whatever, you know, $250 a year or whatever your number is. I don't know. You know, I'll just be happy if I make, you know, $35 a year. No, just kidding.
I'm happy if I have my necessities paid for, and I can enjoy leisure time. So,
exactly.
I mean, I don't need a lot. But I like it, and if I had more, I would use it for other cool shit, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's big on limiting beliefs. He doesn't say those words exactly, but from the message I hear from him, he talks about that. Like, why can't you do that? Like, what is stopping you? And he's all about, like, sweat equity and hard work and all that, you know? But the truth of the matter is, you can't put sweat equity into something if you can't just get past that limiting belief. Right. Because we all know what we need to do, but we're afraid to do it, right? So then when we discover what that limiting belief is, through hopefully some journaling, like if you're feeling depressed, like I said, or lethargic or weird, write that shit down, figure out what it is, and then have an experience, right? So for me, for some reason, I don't know if I was born lazy or if I didn't want to do the work. I just wanted an easier path. You know? Yeah. So I got married young, like I was supposed to, like a good Mormon girl, because, you know, my ex-husband was going to save me. Yeah. I didn't have to make decisions. I would just toe the line, and he was going to be the patriarch in the home, and he was going to lead me, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so the point is, divorce, broke, totally penniless, moved to Boise, divorced like 3 months after we moved here, that motherfucker. That was a plan of his, I think. No friends. No family, no money, because I gave it all to him, put it in his bank account, right? Because that's what good women do. Yeah. And I paid off his school loans, did all of that stuff. Anyway, so I had nothing. My dad, thank goodness I came from a family who could help. He supported me for 2 months. After that, I've never taken a penny from him. But the point is that I had to prove myself wrong, that I wasn't lazy. I did have discipline. I could survive on my own. I did have the wherewithal. How did I prove that to myself? Experience. Yeah. So it was like sink or swim. Thank goodness I'm not a sinker. So, like I will battle, you know, like I'm a battler. I'm resilient. Like I will make it work. And so thank goodness I did. And that's why I did those bodybuilding shows. You know, I did a couple of those, came home with a few trophies, which was nice. But I didn't do it to be like, oh, look at me and look at my body and I'm so amazing. It was more like to prove, can I be hungry for days on end? Can I work out? I mean, I know it sounds horrible, but you know, you're a little hungry. I mean, I'm not starving, but you're never quite satisfied, you know? Yeah. You can't have the cookie. You can't have whatever. But I did that, and that dissolved a false belief for me, which is I can do whatever I want. Right. I never knew that until I did that. I just wanted to because, you know, I'll say this. I think a little bit of anger and a little bit of vanity goes a long ways to getting you ahead in life.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Sure. And I know that's not a popular mantra, but I firmly believe it.
See, this is we.
I was angry and I was vain and I was going to prove my ex-husband wrong and I was going to say, "Watch me now, motherfucker." Yeah. You know. And now look at him.
And so, I mean, sometimes that's all the motivation you need just to like get started.
It worked in that moment. It's what I needed. Now I don't think you can continue on that, and I posted that in my last Instagram post. You can't do that forever because it eventually runs out because it's that extrinsic thing. Right. But I needed that in the moment, and it worked for me really well. You know. But I dissolved that false belief that Kathryn can do things. Like I'm not just a pretty face, or I'm not just someone who supports her husband and looks at him and gazes at him adoringly, and you know, like the women do when their husbands cheat on them in public, and they just stare at them, and, you know, gazing at their door. But I shouldn't have said that because I'm not discounting women who stay with men. But the point is, I was able to prove myself wrong. Yeah, and that was the world to me. And once I had that, then I was like, oh, I can do a lot. You know, because if I can be hungry for a few months, 4 or 5 months, and work out and wear an itty-bitty bikini on stage and say, judge me for my body. Yeah. Because no one wants to be judged for their body, but I was asking to be judged for my body, right? I mean, that was a big deal. Yeah. I mean, that, like, set me free, you know?
Speaking to dissolving the belief, I was working at a restaurant a few years ago with a girl. She was about, at the time, I think 22, 23. And she was a bodybuilder, and she had just won some kind of a trophy for something. And we were talking, and she was telling me about, there's this really cute guy at this table, but I could never talk to him. And I looked at her.
I'm not good looking enough to.
Yeah, that was what she was saying. And I looked at her and I went, wait a minute, what are you talking about? You literally just won an award with your body. You can't go over there and talk to him? And she looked at me and went, you know what? I never looked at it like that. I said, yeah, go get it, girl.
Yeah. And it's not to say that external, your body means everything, because it doesn't.
Sure. Yeah.
It doesn't. But to me, what it took to get my body to that point meant everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like who you became through the journey was more important than the destination kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because the first show I did, I fucking fell. Like, I didn't literally fall. My second show, I fell. Like, I fainted on stage. Nice. And I won 3rd place. So
nice.
They're like, we got to give it to her.
Well, I think I was on track to win first, but then they couldn't give me first because I fell down. Talk about mortifying. I hope there's a YouTube video of that somewhere, but I literally fainted on stage.
I bet you there is.
I hope so. But the first show I did, I took 7th. The top 5 gets trophies and cute tiaras, and so I was pissed. So I went to the second show, and I was like, I'm going to get 2 tiaras. I'm going to get one for my daughter and one for me, and I did.
Nice.
So that was but I passed out. But other than that, but
so you said you've done 3 now?
Only 2. I only did 2. Yeah, it was enough for me. You know, I didn't have anything else to prove to myself after that. You know, plus the lifestyle. There's not a lot of balance, and you know,
like you're completely devoted to that.
Well, you have to be.
Yeah.
If you want a place, you have to be.
Right.
Yeah. It takes over. It's
I've
like
known
Tupperware in your life. All you're doing is cleaning Tupperware and cooking and weighing food and macros and.
I've known several people, like women and men, that have competed, and I just I admire people's
chutzpah.
discipline, or chutzpah. But I'm just like, I mean, we talked about wrestling a little bit beforehand.
Yeah.
When I was a wrestler in high school, like that was one of the most unhealthy things that like that scene. You got people losing weight in a very unhealthy, quick way.
You got to wear the tracksuit and sweat it out.
Dude, I straight up
plastic gloves and
would wrap myself in trash bags and then put sweats on top of that, put a fucking dip in my mouth and just spit the whole the whole ride.
How old were you when you were dipping?
That was 18 at the time. But
is this in high school?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
But that was like the most extreme thing.
Yeah.
And I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
And I had all of the dudes our group of dudes that they all did that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at some point I was like, why? Like, I don't want to be a wrestler professionally. Like, I'm not going to go to college for this. Yeah. Why the fuck am I doing it?
Yeah.
And so I have never been able to get past that. Like I don't want to do something to my body that I don't like. You know?
Well, right, yeah.
And I mean, I like looking good, and I'll work out 5 times a week on a regular basis. But I'm not going to work out for more than an hour ever.
Either will I.
Yeah.
No. Now it's all about balance. But aren't you glad you did that though?
Yeah.
Because did it dissolve a false belief of yours, Dwayne? I'm just curious.
I mean, yes and no. Like it ebbs and flows because there's times where I'm really, really willing to put the effort in and go a little harder.
Yeah.
And then there are other times where I'm like, well, I'm just going to fucking run on the treadmill for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And
but was it
out.
Because you knew people were watching you and it's like mano y mano?
I never really.
What was that?
I go into a gym, I put a pair of headphones on and
I mean,
fuck
when you were
everyone else.
wrestling.
Oh, wrestling?
Yeah. What was it?
Well, our coaches were just insane.
Yeah. So pressure, outside pressure. Yeah, totally.
And I was also, I was a cheerleader in high school too, so I had to prove myself more.
Oh, because everyone said you were like
a little fag or gay boy or whatever, and so
we just
I was
dropped
like,
the
no hard Fs.
We just dropped the F-bomb.
I'm sorry, but that's what I was being called whenever I was in high school because I was a cheerleader. That's all right. I'm allowed to say that.
We'll let it go this time.
All right, that's strike one. But
we'll let it go this time. And watch those hard Fs, buddy.
I'm just saying that's real. Like
no, that makes sense. I know it's okay.
Yeah, so like Coach Brogan and Fournier and White, they're all like, they were like the
Fuck those
typical
guys.
small town, like corn-fed dickheads that like you don't do that kind
Is
of
this
shit.
here in
if you're a
Boise?
dude. No, this is out in New Plymouth. It's like
oh God,
it's like an
that's
hour
a small
out-
town.
Yeah,
then.
super small.
No wonder
town.
you're called the hard F word.
Yeah, and so
But you're gonna go out there and cartwheel. You're gonna cartwheel all over him. You
gonna-
get him in a full Nelson, and you pin him to the mat. I don't have no losers on my team.
You're gonna do a toe touch?
We're gonna go to the championship, or else I'm gonna get fired, and I cannot afford to get fired. You get out there and you kick their asses.
so you've met Coach Brogan.
Yeah.
And
then you're gonna put him in a.
I've met people
You're gonna
like
put him in a basket toss and throw.
I've met people like
For
him.
real. And I did really good.
Male
like-
cheerleaders are very athletic. Well, so are female cheerleaders. Obviously, any cheerleader is very athletic. Yeah.
No, but the female cheerleaders are like stupid athletic. Like I was really surprised at
I'm
what
so
they
I'm
could
so
do.
glad you finished.
I thought he was going to say stupid, and then he was all dot, dot, and I'm
You
all.
went with athletic because I was about to go. Holy shit, that's 2 strikes already.
No,
I was
no, like-
about ready to take my headphones off and
No.
throw them at you
No,
and
no, no,
throw
no, no,
this
no, no.
table over.
Like some of the things
Rage.
that these women could do, like it just blew my mind that like the human body could do it. Number
Yeah.
one, and like look good while you're doing it too.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
You know, I have one of my proudest moments. Speaking of dissolving false beliefs, cheerleader, 6th grade to 12th grade.
Okay.
Halfway through the 12th grade year, I think it was the football season, so not quite halfway through because football's in the fall.
Just before basketball.
I just wanted to act because I used to. And the drama coach came up to me and was like, Kathryn, I want you in the play. And I'm like, listen, I can't. I'm the head cheerleader here. You know, I got a job to do. And like for some reason, I just was tired of it. I tried out for the school play, got the lead, quit fucking cheerleading.
Noise.
Hell yeah.
No offense, no disrespect to cheerleaders, but I was just done with it personally.
What was the play?
Oh my God, what was it? You Can't Take It With You?
Ah.
I can't. I'm sorry, I don't remember the author. It's an oldie but goodie.
That's right.
And then in the spring, it was Wizard of Oz, and I was Dorothy.
Ah,
And I couldn't
okay.
sing worth shit. I'm gonna let you know that right now. But I did my best.
Yeah, I totally did. I did a musical
I
in
was
high
like,
school too.
somewhere. It was really high, and I couldn't quite get there. So-
Yeah, we did Dreamgirls in high school, and I was the token white character, like for every.
Oh, I didn't know there was white people in Dreamgirls.
Yeah, there's a couple,
Oh.
but they're like the like.
Was there any black people at your school? Oh, you were in the Bronx.
We were in Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn,
and
yeah,
it was
excuse me.
primarily black. Like we did the year before, we did West Side Story,
Yeah.
and the Jets and the Sharks
Yeah, you
were
did.
both black.
Yeah.
Like so, it was really it could have just been the Bloods and the Crips. Like they could have changed it. But yeah, that was my high school. So
Yeah.
I
Isn't
got to
that
play
crazy,
all the
that film,
generic,
though?
like the generic white people in that one show. I was like, I had 4 different parts.
I love it. But in the film, it was all white people, and they just painted their faces brown. You know, like Natalie Woods was in West Side Story.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the old film.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, they did that. No, I don't think anybody was in brown face.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
When West Side Story.
It's just funny how it was. Anyway,
Yeah.
But that was a bad pull. Sorry.
The main guy was Greek.
Yeah, I
Like
have
the
no idea what
main
you're talking
the main
about.
Puerto Rican was Greek, I think, in West Side Story.
In your high school?
No.
Oh.
In the movie version
Oh,
of
was
West
it?
Side Story.
I don't remember. So
With
they
Natalie
painted him
Wood.
brown.
Maybe. I mean, but the Greeks are very dark anyway. They're olive
yeah.
complected, so you can get away with it.
Yeah. Is that the third strike now? No.
No, that's
Just kidding.
that would only be 1 for me because Dwayne's got 1.
I think he almost had 2.
Almost had
The
2. Then he
cheerleaders are
said they're
stupid.
Stupid.
I wasn't
Dot,
saying
dot.
that.
Athletic.
Dot.
No,
Good.
no, no.
Stupid.
No, no,
Good.
Athletic.
Or athletic. Yeah.
I
that
was
it.
not saying that. Just to clarify.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
But yeah, so I think it's good. Like if you have children, you teach them how to dissolve their false beliefs as they get older, right? You know, and thank goodness I had very supportive parents. But I was kind of ostracized in high school for that, you know, because Kathryn Avery, the cheerleader, the boyfriend was the high school quarterback, you know, this beautiful blonde guy, 6'3", whatever. I was a cute little cheerleader, and all of a sudden I was a thespian. You know, it was like it was a big deal, like in a small town, small high school.
Thespian.
Yeah, man, I lost my chance at homecoming queen that quick.
Wow.
Wow, really? Holy shit.
You don't need that shit anyways. Fuck 'em.
Nah, it's fine. Oh no, I'm really happy with my choices.
Hell yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. Was there sorry.
No, it's all right.
I'm gonna jump back.
Please do.
The